Welcome back to Ada Network State, where we review the latest news and happening across the Cardano ecosystem. Now let's get started. Today, we're going to look at Catalyst Fund 12 voting coming to a close, Cardano node version 9.0 going live and bringing forward the onset of the Chang hard fork, project updates from across the ecosystem, including Iagon reaching a large milestone, Minswap V2 launching, USDA Stablecoin updates, SmartPlaces App Launch, and OptimFi stake auctions. Outside of Cardano, we're going to take a look at the Republican 2024 platform policy and goals and where crypto is specifically mentioned. And finally, we're going to look at Charles and Elon Musk on decentralized IDs, verified tweets, and privacy. First up, if you have registered to vote for Fund 12 in Project Catalyst, do not forget to complete that. The voting period ends on the 11th of July at 11 a.m. UTC. So go vote if you haven't already. So next up, a post from Intersect. Cardano node 9.0 is here. So this is really exciting. This is the node release that will kickstart the Chang hard fork, and it will bring lots of new features such as Plutus V1 reference scripts, Plutus V3 coding language, and also the onset of decentralized governance. So let's just dive in, take a look at the article here. We'll just browse over this. One thing I really want to point out here is that Chang is in two phases, to be executed in two phases. We are about to launch phase one, Chang part one, and 3 months or 90 days after that has been rolled out, Chang phase 2 will go live. Now, a little bit more on that later. What's the impact to the Cardano ecosystem immediately? Well, the Chang upgrade affects the entire Cardano ecosystem. That's SPOs, exchanges, dApps, and governance bodies. So importantly, 70% of the SPOs have to upgrade before Chang is officially rolled out, and and then for exchanges, there's 85% of the liquidity has to have upgraded. Now, typically, it's the exchanges that tend to be lagging in this part of the process if we go by anything from the past. So we will wait and see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long for everyone to feel comfortable and start upgrading. I'm going to scroll down to this paragraph here, the future beyond Chang. So following the completion of Chang phase 1, Cardano will enter a bootstrap governance phase as outlined in SIP 1694. This period will allow for the adoption of governance features and the acclimatization to new roles. Delegate representatives will begin campaigning and proposals will be democratized through off-chain GovTool features. After sufficient duration determined by technical teams, delegate representatives, and the Constitutional Committee, the bootstrap phase will end, leading to the implementation of full governance features through an inter-era hard fork Chang phase 2. So that's really exciting. That's phase 2, 90 days after the initial release of phase 1. And we're about to enter a very exciting new period for Cardano and a defining moment for the blockchain industry as a whole. So Charles released a video, Node 9.0 Chang in a box. We've talked a lot already about what Charles is mentioning here. But there were a few extra things he called out that I just want to bring up. First of all, at the point of the hard fork, phase 1, the Genesis keys will get burned. And control essentially will be passed to the ICC, the Interim Constitutional Committee, along with the DREPs and the SPOs as full on-chain governance is implemented. Version 10, Node version 10 will be released 90 days later. This is Chang phase 2. And at that point, the DREPs, having gone through a 90-day acclimatization period, their voting power will come into full effect. In that interim period of 90 days, the ICC will go to Colorado and precedents will be set for how DREPs, SPOs, and the ICC operate together and manage that annual budget that is going to be present through our decentralized government. At the end of the year, the Constitutional Convention in Buenos Aires will take place, and an updated constitution will be, or up to that point, will have been amended, worked on, marked up, and ultimately ratified at the end of that year, when the ICC will step down and there will be a new election for the Constitutional Committee. Charles goes on to say that IAG will not stand for this, nor will there be a DREP. They will remove themselves, but still be part of the ecosystem as essentially as contractors now going forward. Which brings us on to the final interesting point that he made, Basho. So Basho was the fourth era of Cardano. It isn't complete yet. It's all about scaling. So there's rollups, there's Laos, Ouroboros Laos, that is, and Hydra still to finish off, finalize, and implement. Charles goes on to say that the community needs to understand how to run a roadmap, and ultimately IAG will be there to support and put a proposal out there for Laos that Intersect will then implement should it be voted on to roll out. So on to project updates, and I want to draw your attention to Iagon. So for those of you who don't know, Iagon is a company building on the Cardano blockchain, and they are focused on decentralized cloud, and that's both compute and storage. Now, they launched their storage network about 6 months ago, and they are just about to hit a huge milestone of 500 storage resource providers coming online, and approaching 6 petabytes of total storage delegated. So huge achievement. We'll have a look, or I'll show you a community page that monitors the network status. But before I do that, and on the theme of Catalyst earlier, Iagon actually have 3 proposals out there: Stature, Fluxion, and Iagon Network Explorer. So if you haven't voted for those, I'd recommend you taking a look and lending your support to Iagon. It's a really important project out there that could do a huge amount for the Cardano ecosystem. Now, onto their fan page. This is info.iagon.net. It's a community-run page, and you can track all of the storage and compute details from the resource providers here. So approaching 6 petabytes, 194 active subscriptions, 498 nodes, all very exciting. The OS distribution, and so on. It's total rewards, gains, and a distribution of where these nodes come from. So decentralized cloud, I think, is really a really important concept that's going to potentially really revolutionize the whole cloud computing industry, both for on-premise data centers, company-run data centers, and public-run data centers in the public cloud, companies who run their data via AWS or Azure. The decentralized cloud software and concept has potentially huge implications for the cost of that and for how that is managed and run going forward, offering a whole load of new opportunities and commercialization options. And now on to Minswap Labs. Minswap V2 is now live, cheaper, scalable, sustainable, composable, and secure. So Minswap going live is a huge bonus to Cardano. Up until now, Minswap had been running Plutus V1 scripts. This is now upgraded to Plutus V2. So this should improve the throughput significantly. And it has been frustrating at times when the chain load has been heavy, and Minswap was one of the fewer apps left running Plutus V1. Now, this is important because Minswap is one of the largest dexes on Cardano. They've got huge liquidity and huge TVL. And although we've got a whole range of dexes out there, from AMMs to order books, it's very significant that Minswap has finally upgraded to V2 and brought a whole load of extra functionality. So I'm going to flip over to the app and we'll take a look at this. What is new? Minswap V2 is ready. Minswap V2 brings 10x more the throughput, advanced order types, composability, and much more. So I won't go into everything here, but stop orders, OCO orders, partial fill orders. Now, I did have to look up what an OCO order was. This is essentially a risk mitigation strategy. You can put in 2 prices to sell at, so a stop loss and a profit take price, and whichever one is enacted first will cancel the other order. So some neat functionality there. Advanced trade settings, market movers, new token and pool detail, new total stake chart, zapping out, add LP custom, manage your portfolio in an easy way. So some interesting stuff there. I'm looking forward to seeing how this impacts the Cardano network. An update from Emergo on the USDA project. Emergo is thrilled to announce that the launch of Anzen's USDA will resume under well-known crypto team Encryptus, with Emergo supporting as a technology provider. So USDA was a stablecoin, dollar stablecoin that everyone was excited about on Cardano a year or so ago, maybe longer. But they had to pause the project due to regulatory uncertainty. So they were looking for a solution, and it looks like they finally found it. So this is exciting. It is going to roll out under Encryptus. And if I just follow through into the article that is here, Cardano stablecoin USDA to resume launch under new ownership. So this is essentially what I just read out before. Now, digging a little bit deeper into why it was postponed, there is another article link in here, which just talks to ultimately there being significant uncertainty facing systemically important financial partners of stablecoin providers, which are crucial for sustaining a fully functional stablecoin marketplace. And that's ultimately why it had to be paused. But it appears that this has been resolved now via Encryptus, the Encryptus team launching USDA. So another stablecoin, very Cardano, lots of projects all at once. SmartPlaces. So SmartPlaces is a SocialFi project running on the Cardano blockchain. They've been active on social media for, I believe, about 4 to 6 months. And the news here is that they have announced the launch of their long-anticipated mobile application, and that is due to be available on the 15th to the 17th of August at the Rare Evo conference in Las Vegas at Caesar's Palace, I believe. Hence the picture here. Now, what is SmartPlaces exactly? Well, let's take a look at their website. The concept really with SmartPlaces is that you can purchase various land plots from around the world. They're all like these hexagonal shapes and represent plots of land here. So in conjunction with the SmartPlaces application, you will be able to post on social media, whether you're a business, an individual, whatever really. And you would tag that, or it'd be tagged to your location that you post, or tag it at a location that you want to post in reference of. And the idea really is here that the owners of the land plots can start to monetize that potential there and potential value associated with their land. So it'll be interesting to see how this evolves. There'll be incentives for posting for the users, but also incentives for the landowners, the plot owners, and what they want to do with that land, and incentivize businesses to post on that platform. So I'm interested to see, is this going to be bigger than Facebook or Instagram? Obviously, there's a lot of competition in this space, but with the blockchain and I guess social rewards and ownership and privacy potentially, it could it's going to be an interesting project to follow. It's backed by Porsche, a car manufacturer, car company in Europe as well. So let's see how this unfolds. So finally, on the project updates, a big one from Optim Finance again. Now, we talked about Optim Finance recently regarding the launch of the OADA token, which is that direct derivative of ADA, and kind of exploring what you could do with OADA and then staked OADA, and the possibilities that open up around that, and what can be done. And this is, I guess, another extrapolation of a similar, of another sort of complex derivative almost. This is the ability to buy staking rights directly from the Optim Finance app. So stake auctions being live. So Zygameb tries to explain this in his post here. So I'm going to read through this and then discuss what it might mean. So quick explainer. During the epoch, OADA sells off the staking rights to its reserves to the highest offers. So the reserves being the direct one-to-one ADA reserves. This price to market is like a Dutch auction, so it's continually decaying, the price. And it also matches limit orders. The minimum order size is 250k of stake. So you're buying 250,000 ADAs worth of staking rights. And by the end of the epoch, all the stake is then sold. Market orders get instantly matched and shown in the wallet as external stake. If there is not enough bid liquidity, then the system uses a default stake key. The semantics of the auction after Voltaire and during Catalyst are yet to be discussed by the ODAO. So I think that last point really calls out where some people might have concerns, and so there's a lot of ramifications for. This is essentially buying staking rights for an epoch, and in this example, you're buying 561 ADA. You're buying a million ADAs worth of staking rights for 561 ADA. Now, presumably, you get the staking rewards as a result of that. So from a million ADA, you might get about 400 ADA rewards for that epoch. So you're paying 161 ADA over what the rewards you get for that epoch. But what you're gaining as well is the ability to vote with a million ADAs worth of stake in Catalyst or whatever comes through in our new decentralized government in Voltaire. And this is interesting, maybe slightly concerning, but opens up a totally different dynamic to what we in Cardano are used to or had expected. So this is the ability to selling your voting rights, essentially, for an epoch. So interesting, a lot to process, more to come, I'm sure. So now onto some news from outside of the Cardano ecosystem. This is the 2024 Republican platform Grand Old Party goals and policies. So this is really cool to see and drew a lot of attention from the crypto space. I'm just going to scroll down to the table of contents here. Generally, there's 10 things they call out: defeat inflation, seal the border, build the greatest economy, bring back the American dream, protect American workers, protect seniors, cultivate great schools, bring common sense to government of, by, and for the people, and return to peace through strength. Now, what we're going to look at really is number 3 here, build the greatest economy in history. And what's come up here is point number 5 in this section: Republicans will pave the way for future economic greatness by leading the world in emerging industries. And crypto is called out in that. So, Republicans will end Democrats' unlawful and un-American crypto crackdown and oppose the creation of a central bank digital currency. That's oppose the creation of a CBDC. We will defend the right to mine Bitcoin and ensure every American has the right to self-custody their digital assets and transact free from government surveillance and control. So self-custody, free from surveillance and control. This is very exciting and a great message coming out of the Republican Party. And finally, a comment from Charles responding to Elon Musk on privacy concerns in X messaging. So the original post was from Kim.com. We may manually review DMs to comply with government requests. What happened to encrypted DMs, Elon? And Elon replied to this. Elon's saying this encrypted messaging is currently a work in progress, or works in a clunky way. They're trying to make it easier for group messages too, but X audio and video calls are automatically encrypted. So Charles comes in and says, I keep saying this is a solved problem. Elon, I love you, man. Adopt decentralized IDs. You can add any crypto you want and have both verified tweets and perfect forward secrecy. At this point, I'd even do the implementation for free. So there's a little bit of back and forth here, not between Elon, unfortunately. But Charles has talked about verified tweets and privacy on social media for a long time. And what I will do is I will link a few of those Charles videos in the description below if you're interested. They're very, very good videos. Thank you for watching the latest in the series of ADA Network State. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, and see you next time.